Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode, where are we at? 828. Just finishing up my McDonald's breakfast burrito. I think you can see my face a little better than yesterday. I don't look like I'm in the witness protection program. It is Sunday. I have no idea what time it is. So I do. My computer says it's the wrong time. My computer doesn't automatically. My phone updates. My computer doesn't. So it is 6. Wait, no, I think my computer did update. What the hell time is it? Okay, no, my computer is correct. It's 7:20 local time. 7:20 here in Arizona. It's now 9:20 back home in the central time zone. And it's 10:20 on the East Coast. So I am always confused with daylight savings and the time change, even more so because Arizona doesn't celebrate daylight savings. So Central Time Zone has been 1 hour. Now it's 2 hours behind Arizona. So just so happened right in the middle of my trip. So I'm going to be all confused, especially Tuesday when I head back home. Saw the forecast. I'm not looking forward to it. I think I only have a couple days of crap weather back home before it gets back up into the 50s by the end of the week. It's Selection Sunday. So tonight I will be putting together the link for the bracket challenge. We'll do a Hobby Evolution bracket challenge. I'm going to try to do a prize. We'll do a prize this year, maybe a hobby box of something. I'd like it to be a new product because Top Series 1 has been out for so long. We don't want that. I do want baseball. I think most of us that are participating in the chat listen to the show, baseball fans. So we'll do a hobby box of baseball. I don't know when is Heritage supposed to be. It's March 12th. There should be another baseball product coming out. So we'll figure that out. We've got Raphael. What's up, Raphael? Hall of Fame card collector. Good morning. Todd is in the house. Herman is here. Boston Smoke. Dan, I am having a great time. Good morning, Cooter. It's been awesome. When was the last time? I only did one other live out here. It's exhausting. Watching baseball all day long is exhausting. So Saturday was my off day. What did I do? Well, I went out to the backfields and I watched minor league practice for about 3 hours. And then I went to a card show. So that was my off day. But I was asleep by like 8 last night. So I was up dark and early this morning. In fact, I woke up at 3 a.m. like ready to go. And it's like, crap, it's only 3 a.m. A lot of the people I'm traveling with are probably still drinking at this time. And here I am already with 6 hours of sleep or whatever. I do need lots of sunscreen. I don't know if you can see. It's I've got quite the farmer's tan going. I failed to put the sunscreen on the first, I think 2 days actually. They do have some. It's not as I think last year they had more sunscreen stations at Sloan Park. It was hard to find it, and we were in the. So I've been to 3 games. Yesterday was the only day I didn't go to a game. So let's see. I went to Wednesday's game against Team Canada. I think I talked about that. I went live on Thursday, I believe. And then Thursday was against the Cincinnati Reds. So we sat in the berm in the left field for those 2 games. There's a Cub. I can't recognize who that is. Can't quite tell. You got a Cubs player or might be one of the coaches. Kind of looks like VJ, the traveling coordinator. Let's see. So first 2 days, yes, in the berm. Friday's game against the White Sox. Holy crap. So Wednesday was my first game, and I'm like, we're at the tailgate tent. I'm like, man, the crowd looks light out here. There's not many people. And the line, no lines in the bathroom, no beer lines. It was great. Friday, however, was a different story. Now, Friday we were in the rooftop. Now, I'm going to give a hot take. I don't think it's really a hot take because I'll tell you why. The rooftop sucks at Sloan Park. So here's the thing. The berm, I think my berm ticket for Wednesday was like $6, $8, which is really cheap. Last year they were like 35. That was the cheapest ticket. And then I think I paid 15 or 18 on Thursday. It just kind of went up as the week went on. So Friday in the rooftop, and I got my tickets well a week in advance because it was kind of a group outing. Like there was a big group of us that did the rooftop, and it was like $55. And I'm like, $55? I'm paying 15 in the berm. What's so special? And it's not like all included. Like you still have to pay $15 for a beer. Now, it's $15 for a beer. However, it is a 24-ounce beer. So I think at Wrigley, it's like $12, $13, but it's only 16 ounce. So I didn't do the math. You know how I like the math. But it's pretty similar. Breaks down pretty similar. Had to do a McDonald's run this morning. Yeah, $15 for beer. Yes, sir. Let's see. So we go up there, and there's like one beer line. Well, there's two beer lines, and they were frickin' waiting. And then they were there's some people had like vouchers, and they couldn't get the vouchers to work. I'm standing in line for like 15 minutes for a $15 beer. And I paid $55 for this damn ticket it's the furthest seat in the stadium. I could have paid less and sat in like the third row behind home plate for the same amount of money. So now I'm like grumpy Bo. Don't have a beer. It's like, oh. So I'm like third back in line, and I'm still there. And they're still trying to figure out. And the person that's at the counter is putting in this like gigantic order. I'm like, F it. I'm getting the hell out of here. So I thought I was going to skirt the line, go to another line. And it looked short until it winded around. I'm like, Jesus, you got to be effing kidding me. So I went up to my buddy. I'm like, dude, I'm going downstairs. I'm going down to the park. And he's like, oh, wait. He's like, I'm going to take Joe down there. He hasn't been in the berm. So it was my buddy Crawley and Joe Kilgallen, who's a comedian, great comedian. He did a show the other night out here. I missed it because I don't really do many nighttime activities because I'm in bed by 8 o'clock. So we go down. We get a beer. There is a tip for fast beer, but I'm not going to give it out here on YouTube. I don't want to ruin the secret. So we got our beer in fairly fast fashion, and we sat in the berm. And the berm was, I mean, the whole stadium. It was over 15,000, which I'm sure was a sellout. White Sox and Cubs. It was fun. My goodness, we had 2 home runs fall near us. And in fact, one of them was a White Sox home run, and it was a few towels away, and they threw it back. Now here's my hot take. I think that's dumb. I think throwing back home run ball, it's like, okay, I get it. It's spring training. Throwing it back is no big deal, but it's still a ball, man. I guess that's the collector in me. So I was sharing my hot takes, and this was not at Friday's game. I think this was at Thursday's game. I said that was a stupid tradition, and it was not. I was in the minority, and then so people are getting on me. This is probably the same day that people were giving me shit on Twitter about being adult and autographs are for kids. F you guys. I'll get my autographs. You collect pictures of men on cardboard. What's the difference, right? So don't let me get on that soapbox. So then I said, they're ganging up on me. I'm like, you know what? Might as well just let it all out. Might as well just let it all out. True confessions. I put ketchup on my hot dog. Ooh, I got booed for that. So all in good fun. But the woman who was sitting got the home run ball. She threw it back. I got trampled by kids. Some of the players were throwing balls like they do their warm-up tosses in the outfield. And so they'd throw a ball up, and we were like pretty close to the fence, and there were a whole bunch of kids, like at least a dozen kids. And they threw a ball and it went like behind me. These kids are just, I literally had to do this. I had to duck and cover because kids were trampling me. So my buddy Crawley actually got that ball that was thrown in. And so give it to a kid. That's another tradition I think is dumb. And I'm going to tell you why. But anyway, let me finish so Crawley's like, I'm going to give it to a kid, but it's got to be a Cubs fan, because there were like all the kids around us were wearing like different, like Angels, Padres. Like there were a lot of different, and I mean, spring training's like that where people travel to different stadiums. So Crawley tossed it to a Cubs fan. Give it to a kid. I hate that tradition. And I hate it when announcers, and my buddy Joe mentioned the same thing. He's like, I hate that because, and Joe has kids. And he's like, if I caught like a foul ball or a home run ball, like, and my kids weren't with me, like, I'm going to take it home and give to my kid. Like, you don't know an adult situation. Like, they could have kids at home. They could have a nephew. They're probably giving it to a kid, but everybody thinks it's an adult. Give it to a kid. You're just going to keep it and sell it. Yeah, I'm going to sell a freaking foul ball on eBay for $10. Give me a break. Same with autographs. Here I am. Here's my soapbox. You're just going to put it on eBay and sell it. Well, here's my eBay link. There's 32,000 items in my store. Go check it out. Feel free. Type in Cubs. Type in autographs. And guess what? You're going to find about 4 Cubs items because a few cards trickled in on accident when I was feeding them through the feed scanner on Card Dealer Pro. They're commons. And there's a tank top that was a stadium giveaway that I don't do tank tops. Have you seen me? I don't do tank tops. So you're going to find autographs, but guess what? They're going to be pack pulled. They're not going to be in person. And in-person autographs aren't worth anything. Why would I go on eBay and sell autographs? Plus, I only get Cubs. I'm a collector. So I hate it when people, sick. And furthermore, and this is also what I hate, you don't know people's situations. Give it to a kid. That guy or lady might have a kid at home, might have a niece or a nephew, and guess what? They're getting the freaking ball, okay? You don't know their situations. You don't know. You look at a photo of a guy getting autographs, and there's a bunch of kids around. Oh, he's pushing the kids. He's trying to get the kids out. You don't know from a picture. You don't know. Guess what? The picture I posted, and it was jokingly that I did that about PCA. Pete Crow Armstrong hates me. There's kids next to me. Guess what? I made packs of Cubs cards. There's like 20, 30, 40 Cubs cards in each of these team bags, and I gave them out to all the kids that were at the Club 410. The 2 kids in that picture got Cubs packs. And guess what? One kid saw me yesterday at the backfields, and he's like, hey, guess what? Patrick Wisdom signed my card you gave me. Kyle Hendricks signed my card you gave me. But all these idiots on Twitter, oh, you're putting in front of the kids. You're an adult. Don't get autographs. F you. The non-autograph, if you hate autographs and you say that shit, you can just unsubscribe and get the hell out of here, because that shit pisses me off. End of my rant. I'm having a good time. So now that I got that out of the way. So Friday's game, good. We lost. So that was not a 9-game win streak. And I know it's spring training. And here's what was great. We spent $55 on rooftop tickets, and we spent most of the game in the berm, in the lawn. But we were just talking baseball, and that's what's fun about sitting in the lawn. And I like it because I don't like to be confined to a seat when I'm at a game. Like, that's why I like going to the bleachers, because I can just wander. And like, I like being around people and talking baseball and sharing our thoughts on ketchup on hot dogs, give it to a kid, and all of that stuff. But I also like to take like an inning or two and just walk around the stadium. Go get oh my God, the tamales out here. Victor got me on tamales. I've had tamales at the ballpark 2 out of the 3 days. and probably third out of 4 today. There's a home game at Sloan today. So that's what I like. So, and then towards the end of the game, like the 8th or 9th inning, we went back upstairs to the rooftop and hung out with the rest of our group. Now, and so again, remember, I'm in bed by like 8 o'clock. So I don't do nighttime activities, but we have like a big group from Club 400 that we all came out here at the same time just to line up our trips. So they always give me crap. They're like, hey, we want you to come out with us at night. And I'm like, I know. I feel bad, but it's just, I'm so dead tired because I go out, I'm watching minor league baseball for like 4 hours, and then I go tailgate, and then I go to the game, and then we hang out here for an hour after the game, and I'm just absolutely wiped. I've been in the sun, I've been drinking beer. I'm an early to bed guy anyway. So, but credit to Crawley. Crawley's like, dude, just one time, just one night, just make it one night each year. Because we want to hang out. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, you know what? That's a good point. It's a good point. I can make one night work. Now, I didn't tell him that out front, but then another guy in our group, Carlos, awesome dude. Carlos is like, let's play rock, paper, scissors. If I win, you've got to come with us to the Beer Research Institute, which is phenomenal. We'll get to that in a second. Obviously, you know from that, I lost rock, paper, scissors. So we played rock, paper, scissors. I think he beat me on the first. I'm not very good at rock, paper, scissors. I couldn't even tell you what beats what. I just went. So he beat me the first go. I beat him the second go. We tied in the third go, and then he beat me on the fourth. So I'm like, okay, I'm going. And he's like, dude, you don't have to. I'm just playing with you. If you don't want to go, you don't have to go. I'm like, you know what? No, man of my word. And I do need, like, you always ask me and I say no every time. So I feel bad. So we went Beer Research Institute. I'm like, I'll just get an Uber because I've been drinking. So, but my friend Weeds, Kathy, she's usher at Wrigley Field. She's with our group. She's like, I'll give you a ride. It's like, I'm probably going to leave early, but at least you get a ride there. And if you want to stick around, just get an Uber. But if you want to leave when I leave, I've got to run to my aunt's house to get some stuff, and then I can drop you back off. I'm like, okay, perfect. Because guess what? I want to leave early too. So we, Crawley and I went with Weeds, Beer Research Institute, had a burger. Oh my goodness. Beer Research Institute. Awesome. Beer's great. I had like a Rice Krispie beer, which I think it's made with rice. It's not like actually tastes like Rice Krispies, but the crispy beer. And then burger was amazing. Great burger. Hung out with the group, and then Weeds took me back and called it a night. So that was a good time. Where else was I going? We hung out at the Sloan tent. So Sloan in the tailgate area. So Club 400 has a tailgate tent on the walking path. And then there's a giant, you've probably seen it on TVs if you watch Cubs games. It's it's actually Sloan Park. It's the Sloan Company's tailgate tent. It's by invite only, but somehow we were able to get in. So before we went to the Beer Research Institute this was Friday, we hung out in the Sloan tent, which, by the way, check this out. Check out this freaking hat. This is the coolest hat ever. So I got that hat. Actually, my buddy Vinny got that. Vinny's part of our group. Oh, I just went dark. So Vinny hooked me up with that Sloan hat. So we hung out at Sloan before going to the Beer Research Institute on Friday. So let me get into the chat real quick, and then I'll talk about my Saturday at the card show. Yeah, $15 for a beer sucks. Hall of Fame card collectors set up at a card show yesterday. How did it go? I'm going to talk about my card show experience here in a second. Dan says I can bring a liter of beer into the stadium here. Wow, we cannot hear in America. Terry, good morning. What's up? Give it to a kid. People that throw balls back want to look cool in front of their friends and then later wish they kept it. I know, right? You should bring like a cheap China ball and throw that one back and keep the good one. Dan says, I'd rather them give it to a kid than throw it back. Baseball Card Illustrated. What's up, Bronco? Hope you're having a great time at spring training. Absolutely. It's part of me wants to stay an extra couple days, but then a part of me is like, I don't think my body can take an extra couple days. Brian says, LOL, what did I walk into? Bo beating up kids. Ed, good morning. When do you go back? I fly out first thing Tuesday morning. So today I will be here. We've got a home game against at Sloan against I think the Brewers today. So it'll be an all day of baseball. I'll go out to the backfields this morning and then go to the tailgate tent. Got my McDonald's coffee, tailgate tent, and then go into the game. I'm going to be on the lawn today. My buddy Steve, probably Rich, Weeds. We'll be all in the probably left field berm. Let's see. So then tomorrow's my last full day, and there's minor league games start, which is awesome. I thought I was going to miss the minor league games. The only time I've been out here for minor league games, I've been out here before minor league games start, was last year, and I had a blast. So I was actually talking with Luke Little, who's not little at all. He's 6'8" pitcher. He touched 105. I think it was like 105.7 miles per hour a couple of years ago. And so his parents come down, and they're awesome, awesome people. So I was talking with them, and so they told me that Monday, minor league games start. The single A guys play the Oakland A's over at Fitch, which is the former Cubs facility. And then the triple A and double A guys are going to be on the backfields at Sloan. So I'm going to hang out and watch double A, triple A on Monday. And then, yeah, I've got my flights at like 7 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Let's see. Terry says, when I lived in Escondido, there was a Mexican lady that came around to the house once a week selling homemade tamales. Oh, my goodness. That sounds amazing. Tamales are so good. Thank you, Victor, for introducing me. I'm sure I've had tamales in the past, but it wasn't until Victor bringing me tamales that it was like, oh, my goodness, these are amazing. Dan says, rock, paper, scissors, huge in Korea. Brian says, say words that rhyme with rock, paper, or scissors, and they will throw that usually. Easy game to manipulate. Interesting. The Falsey, what's up? If they made a beer that tasted like a Rice Krispie bar, that would be amazing. I'm sure there's a brewery in Michigan, and I think it's called Oddball Ale. Is it Oddball Ales? I think it's called Oddball. And they make, and I thought, oh, this sounds awesome, and it was not awesome at all. Rice Krispie might be a little, but what did I have from Oddball? It was just not good. It was not good. But that was just my opinion. Yours, you might like it. Oddball. I think it's called Oddball Ales. They have a lot of crazy ass flavors. Let's see. Let's just Google it. Oddball. By the way, you can see in the background, in New Hampshire, Oddball Brewing, Suncook, New Hampshire. That doesn't look like the beers. I don't think that's the same one. The one I'm thinking of is in Michigan. Oddball Brewery, Michigan. Huh. Okay, that's not it. I don't know, but the one I'm thinking of, I'm pretty sure it's Michigan. Anyway, I think it was Friday morning. I was walking down to the backfields in the morning, and I walk out of the hotel with Doug Glanville, former Philly, former Cub. I'm like, Doug, super nice guy. So we actually walked together down that sidewalk that you see right behind me. He was on his way. He works for Marquee Network now as an analyst. So we were just talking about baseball, weather. He's like, man, this facility is so much nicer, because he came up with the Cubs in the early 90s and played over at Fitch and Hohokam. And he's like, man, is this place so much nicer than when I played. That's what's so cool. Another cool about staying here in the hotel, I went down last night and had dinner at the in the restaurant downstairs, and had some chicken fajita tacos. They were good. Not bad for hotel food. And so I was bidding on a Moises Ballesteros, who's he's closing in on the top 10 prospects in the Cubs organization. I think he's like around number 15, young kid too. I was bidding on, he's in like Onyx Extended. And as I'm like checking in on that auction, it ended in like 6 minutes. He walked through with another catcher, Pablo Aliendo. And I'm like, how ironic is that? Here comes Moises, and I'm bidding on one of his autographs and I won it like $4. So I was happy with that. Cooter says, kids at my daughter's high school would sell their grandma's homemade tamales. Losing that hookup was the worst part of them graduating. Oh, yeah, for sure. Harlan in the house, what's up? Zach and Porter, what is up? Good morning to you. Have a great day. Brian says, I tried to do 2 card shows last few weeks, and neither promoter got back to me. Left messages, called, texted, reached out, social media, nothing. My thought is they were probably sold out and they just have poor communication skills. Probably both of those, actually. Hope you're getting some balls signed to add to the wall. Only one, because most of these guys I have. I guess some of the minor league guys I don't. But I only brought like 4 or 5 like cheap balls that I have like minor league guys sign. But I did bring a dozen official balls, but they're like $20 a pop. So I don't want to say waste, but essentially, yeah, I don't want to waste a $20 official ball on, a potential prospect that doesn't make it. So I've been saving them for the big league guys. I did get the only baseball I got signed so far was Hayden Wesneski. A lot of the big stars, take golf carts and go around. But like Kyle Hendricks came through on Friday. He was awesome. He stopped, took photos, signed for people. Patrick Wisdom's great. But like Ian Happ will take a golf cart. Bellinger, Swanson, Mancini, those guys. Or actually, I think Mancini might be in the baseball classic. But those guys will take a cart around and avoid the pathway. Let's see. I think I'm gonna have to blow my nose. Where did I put that bag? You don't want to hear me sniffling. Do I have anything up here? Just enjoy the scenery for a second. It's actually kind of cold. It's chilly this morning. My computer says 52. The computer and the app and the car, they're all different. Like my computer says 52. I think the car said 58 this morning when I went to McDonald's. 55. They're all different, which is weird. Like back home, they're all like within a degree of each other. Let's see. So 55. It's 55 degrees. High of 80. That'll be nice. So yeah, only one baseball, Hayden Wesneski. I've been focusing on cards this year. Victor, there he is. What's happening? Hall of Fame collector says, well, I didn't sell any of my high-end cards, but I did sell some lower-end cards, bought lots of bulk rookie, and I did a trade, but was not good, got caught in the moment, and there wasn't any Wi-Fi. Ooh, bummer. Brian has discovered sour beers. Mango down here, that is awesome. I am not a big sour beer fan. Let's see. Dan says, blow your nose. You mean you need to stop doing blow, right? If I did blow, I wouldn't be sleeping 12 hours out here. I wouldn't be in bed at 8 p.m. Let's see. It's the 50 degrees and the hot coffee. Let's see. So my card show experience. So I was out at the backfield. My buddy Brian came out. I didn't realize he was coming out. Him and his wife came up, and it was towards the end of minor league practice. I was picking Ethan up to go to the card show. So he was going to text me when he was done because he had some of his training on rehab to do. So I'm like racing around trying to get some autos. Ethan's like, I'm almost ready. And my buddy Bray, he's like, are you ignoring me? I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even see you. So I was able to catch up with him for a few minutes. Probably see him today at the tent. So Ethan was ready, picked him up. We went to the Chandler-Gilbert Card Show. And so we pulled up. It's in a Knights of Columbus Hall, which is really cool because it reminds me of the shows I grew up with. So I grew up, even though this isn't a rural area, but I grew up in a rural area where we didn't have many hotel shows in my immediate vicinity. Like a lot of the shows that I went to were in kind of the smaller cities closest to my hometown. Now, I think when you get down to the Quad Cities, there were a lot of hotel shows, but the shows that I remember going to were like in Kewaunee, Geneseo. They were in like the Moose Lodge in Geneseo, the Knights of Columbus Hall in Kewaunee, like VFW halls. So it really took me back to being a kid and going to shows at the Knights of Columbus Hall in Kewaunee. So we walk in and immediately, guess who I see? None other than Mr. Gypsy Oak himself. If you follow Gypsy Oak on Twitter, he makes some cool stuff. He collects, his setup, he has some awesome, like, oddball, non-sports Menkos, all kinds of great stuff. So I don't collect that, but I really enjoy looking at it. So his name's Jeff, so I was able to talk to him for a few minutes. So good time. And then let's see. So Ethan got right on it. Ethan and I have a different collecting strategy. Obviously, I'm like quantity Cubs. Ethan's into like high-end Trout, Mahomes. So he was looking for a Trout auto yesterday. That was his goal. So we're walking around. Ethan's trying to do some deals. My first stop to actually look in my first purchase, I should say, was and I wish I would have got there in the morning because he's like, yeah, these boxes were full. There was just, like maybe half the cards were gone. I'm like, shit, because there was some fire in these $2 boxes. So I picked up, I'll go grab them. I'll show you. So he had $2 boxes. Not as in two $1 boxes, but he had a box and each card was $2. So this is a canvas collection from Museum Collection, and these sell for, let's see, I think I'm going to have to tilt the camera indoors. Okay, you're going to have to look at my fat face for a while. So we got the Museum Collection canvas Chris Bryant. This is a Ed Howard first chrome refractor. These were $2 each. Here's a Miguel Amaya green paper, number to 99. Jordan Nwagu, first chrome refractor. Really good dude. He signed for me the other day. He's a Michigan guy. Nice kid. Brennan Davis, blue to 4.99. These were in the $2 box. Now, but I'm going to, let's see. I shouldn't have bought that. I don't know. I don't like Wilson Contreras anymore, but 99, Topps Chrome, green Contreras. Here, I'm going to save the best for last. Out of the $2 box, Miguel Amaya of 250. So these you're thinking, yeah, these are okay. These are okay. Here's a Nwagu Sky Blue. That's his first chrome Sky Blue. Alex Lang, blue chrome out of 150. He got traded to like Detroit a couple years ago. He's no longer in the org. Then we got a first chrome auto. First chrome autos, even of pitchers, for $2. If it's a Cub, I'm taking it. Hell yeah. So $2 for Thomas Hatch. Not only that, there was a purple out of 250, Thomas Hatch. And for the $2 box, numbered out of 150, Thomas Hatch, blue. Let's see. Then there was a Ed Howard first paper numbered out of 250. Let's see. So I mentioned Luke Little and his mom and dad are out here, so I picked that up. They were thinking about going to the card show, And his mom messaged me because I tweeted that out. His mom messaged me and said, "Oh, we should have went to the show." They ended up going to the World Baseball Classic game. And she's like, "I've never been to a card show, but I want to go." So I sent her the link to cardshowmap.com. And I'm like, because they're in the Charlotte area. And I said, go to this website, and it has like, you can just search by your geography, and it'll show like when shows are and the times and the locations and all that. She's like, "Oh my God." She's like, "Thank you. There's so many shows in our area." So hopefully she gets to a show. Let's see. Also in the $2 box, another First Chrome Auto, Ryan Jensen, who I think was a non-roster invite this year. And this guy led off for Great Britain in the World Baseball Classic. $2. BJ Murray, numbered out of 100. First Chrome Auto, numbered out of 100. There was a kid walking around, and he's like, "Are you buying?" And I'm like, "Well, maybe. I'm only looking for Cubs." And he's like, "I don't know if I have any Cubs. There might be." And he had an orange. And I'm like, "What's your price on this?" He's like, "Well, that's the orange out of 25. So I'm going to be at 125. And I'm like, "I just paid $2 for 1 out of 100. No thanks." Then the same dealer had so these were all pulled out of the $2 box. Then he had a $10 box. And I didn't see, there were a lot of stuff that I'm like, yeah. But it was kind of like the $2 box was like, oh my God, I can't believe some of these are in the $2. Like a lot of these are legit like $2 cards. But like the BJ Murray out of 100, the Thomas Hatch, I probably would have paid a little more than $2. So some of those, it's like the Ed Howard of 250. I think those were underpriced. I think some of the $10 cards in the $10 box were a little overpriced, but there were two like absolute steals in the $10 box. Ed Howard, I think he's going to have a breakout year this year. He's dealt with some injuries. This is his Bowman All-America from 2019 autograph. I did not have that in my collection. I actually just bought one of the Bowman Affleck autos of Carson Sands a couple weeks ago. So I've got Ed Howard to the collection, and it was a good Ed Howard day. First Chrome Refractor PSA 10 for $10. That is pretty. So I thought that was that actually, this may be the deal of the day in the future, but I'm going to call this card the deal of the day. If you saw me on Twitter, it had a blue sticker on it. And I looked at the box and it said blue stickers are $10. And this was right up front. And I picked it up. Like I didn't even want to search the box. I picked this up and I go, and the sticker was on the front. And I said, "This is $10?" And he's like, "Yeah, blue sticker." I'm like, I couldn't get to my wallet fast enough. How did this last? Because this was like the end of the show when I picked this up. Like $10? Billy Williams rookie card, $10. So that is my deal of the day. But I think the Ed Howard First Chrome Refractor PSA 10, that could end up being a hell of a steal if he, turns out. That's the thing with prospecting. You never know. So let's see, where we at? I haven't said that in a while, have I? Do you see any good prospects that could make a difference for the Cubs? Not in the short term, not like this year. There's not going to be any guys that are going to break out this year. I mean, you never know. Here's the thing. There could be a glut of injuries and they have to call some guy up just out of need. If everyone in the big league clubs stays healthy, there's not going to be any need to bring prospects up because there's actually, they've got a glut of big league guys. And it's like, where do you put some of these guys? I mean, now you have, at first base, you've got Patrick Wisdom, Eric Hosmer, Trey Mancini. Fortunately, you do have the DH in the National League now, so that's going to help. But then you've got Christopher Morel. You've got Nick Madrigal. Those guys are odd men out right now. Those are bench guys. A good problem to have, because your outfield, well, Suzuki's hurt. So you've got an opening for Patrick Wisdom was playing right field in, I think, Thursday's game. So that's what spring training is about. You can put some of these guys. So right now, the big league club has enough talent, enough big league talent that unless injuries come along, there's not going to be any guys to make an immediate impact from the minor leagues. But in the future, I think there's some potential. One, and I'm going to kind of go on not underrated, but just kind of under the radar, I think is a better term. Under the radar prospects. Daniel Palencia. And he's only like 6 foot. He might not even be 6 foot. Starting pitcher, throws 100. Super nice kid too. Always has a smile on his face, and just has heat. And he has accuracy. I mean, he can throw 100 for strikes, which is good. So that's a cool part with going to the show with Ethan yesterday. So back to the card show. So we're walking around after I pick up these cards. Vinny, who promotes the show, came up to me and he's like, "Hey, there's a former Cub walking the floor." He's like, "Can you spot him?" And I'm like, "Did you know there's a current Cub walking the floor?" He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he's like, "I'll show you where the former Cub is." Happens to be former Chicago Cubs shortstop Augie Ojeda is a friend of Vinny's, and he's now collecting. He had him and Ethan were showing off their cards to each other, and they were actually at the same table. Ethan was working out a deal. Ethan actually ended up a cash trade deal for a $2,500 Mike Trout auto, numbered out of 10, I think, SSP. So Augie Ojeda. So I was telling him about my collection, my Cubs collection. He collects mainly football and basketball. He had a Giannis 1-of-1 with him. What else did he have? He had a Giannis 1-of-1 and some other really big card. So he was trying to get. Ethan has a National Treasures Ohtani auto, and Augie's like, "I'll give you all this," and Ethan's like, "Nah, man, I'm keeping this Ohtani." So that was really cool. They were talking. Augie wanted to know how Ethan's rehab's going and his track and all that. So super cool. And then so Ethan had his own cards, his rainbow with him in his briefcase. And so Vinny was holding it, wanted to get a picture with Ethan in the superfractor. And one of the other dealers came by and he's like, "Oh, that's a nice card." And we're like, "Yeah, it's him." It's like, "Oh, it's his card." It's like, "Well, it's his card, but it's also him on the card." And he's like, "What? No way." So it was really cool. Ethan signed a few autographs after the show, and did some deals, got some big cards. I think he picked up a Mahomes rookie PSA 9, that Trout. I think he picked up one other card. So he had a good day. So we're driving back, and he's like, "This is what I love about Ethan and his collecting. He's a passionate collector." And so we're driving back. We're on the freeway, and he's looking up Augie Ojeda, and he's like, "Man, he had 10 years of service time." He's like, I gotta buy a card. I gotta get a Augie Ojeda card." So he found a Bowman auto on eBay, and in the car on the ride home from the card show, he bought an Augie Ojeda Bowman auto after meeting him. That's just cool. Like, isn't that a big league player collects his own cards, big time collector, passionate, but he also collects, he just met Augie Ojeda at a card show. I'm going to go out. I'm going to buy a card of him because I just met him. Super cool. So it was a great show. It was a lot of fun. Just hanging out. What did I spend? 20, 30? I spent like $50. And I got some great cards. Got some great cards to add to my Cubs collection. Oh, my buddy Sedgefeather, Brian Sedgwick, dropped some cards. I got to tweet those out. So stack. So might have added 50, 60 cards to the total. Let's see. Thank you, Brian. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already. Let's see. Cooter says the Dallas show was awesome yesterday. It was nice to visit with Uncle Rich. Steph and Angela saw Dr. Jim, but I don't bother him as he was head down in a bargain box as he usually is. Very cool. How is Ethan's rehab going? Is his velocity coming back? Yes, he's technically ahead of schedule, but the team won't. It's crazy how and this is interesting, like just getting to hear like the inner workings of like from a baseball standpoint, like how this all works. And so he's actually ahead of schedule. He's doing better, but they have to keep, guys on rehab are on this set schedule, and it's like you can't get ahead of schedule. They're like, it's just, this is what you do. So he's throwing 3 times a week. And then I think he starts throwing from what distance? Is it like 105 feet? He can start like long toss type stuff. I think it's 105 feet. And he can start doing, when he can start throwing 105 feet, he can throw 6 days a week, I think, is how that goes. It is. And then obviously limited to whatever. So yeah, he's on schedule. He's doing better, but he's got to stick to the schedule he's on. So right now he's throwing 3 days a week. I think Monday, Wednesday, Friday he throws. So that's his. So yesterday was just kind of, I think he was lifting yesterday morning is what his routine was. Let's see. Herman wants to know, was the singles club set up in Dallas? I had heard they were going to be there. So that was Saturday. I came back to the hotel. Like I said, I came back, watched some basketball, went downstairs to the lobby, just hung out there for a little bit, had some fajitas, and turned in, watched some basketball last night. I didn't even watch the World Baseball Classic. And then here I am. Had to make my McDonald's run this morning. And here as I get ready to sign off, I'm going to walk back over. Michael says Alex Lang is actually closing for the Tigers. Oh, very cool. So that's even better of a deal. I figured, Alex Lang, he's not with the Cubs anymore. This is a quarter card. If he's closing for the Tigers, that's a good deal for $2. So my schedule today, I will, here in a few minutes, I'll head over to the backfields, watch some minor league practice. Then I'll go tailgate, go into the game, be on the berm today, and then come back to the hotel and call it a night. And then tomorrow's minor league day. So I don't know if I'll go live tomorrow morning. Probably not. I don't know if I'll go live tomorrow morning. We'll see. I won't be live Tuesday morning because I'll be at the airport. And then I'll be back at it Wednesday morning. So I'm going to skip ahead to Harlan's comment here real quick. How's your liver? When do you go on rehab? Yeah, yesterday was a detox day. Yesterday was a much needed detox day. Because yes, drinking beer all day in the sun for 3 straight days, it's like I need, and I drink a lot of water, a lot of Gatorade, Powerade. I mean, I've got a fridge here. It's stocked with water and Gatorade. So yeah, but yes, I need to eat a salad and drink a lot of water for the next couple weeks. So I do need, my liver needs to go on rehab because my body needs it. So where are we at? Cooter says singles club was not set up. I think they were sourcing per Uncle Rich. There seemed to be more $1 and $2 boxes than what I have seen before. Now that hopefully that trend continues, and that's the way it is in November. So I'm tentatively scheduling a trip to the Dallas Card Show in November. So we'll see. House update, even though I'm not there. My wife's been sending me pictures. Now that we actually have the building permit, we're getting a lot done. So we busted out a wall between the great room and the kitchen and dining areas, kitchen. And so now it has an arch. So the arch she sent, and I'm like, and of course, I'm like, oh, cool. What did they do? It's like, it's the arch. And I'm like, oh, the arch. And then my basement bathroom has a tub. And I'm like, whoa, cool. Because when I left, my basement bathroom still had chunks of concrete because they had to drill down for the pipes. So that's all been covered back up. The tub is in. So I'm excited to see when I get back home on Tuesday, I'll check it out. Let's see. Hall of Fame wants to know when I'm going back home. Tuesday. My flight's early morning Tuesday. So I'll be back live from the card room on Wednesday morning. Cooter says rehabs for quitters. Check liver light is on. I think it is. Woods and Water, what's up? Enjoy the day. Thank you. You as well. Look for BioLite at a convenience store. Stuff is incredible. Interesting. I will check that out. Hitting a 50-table show in a couple of weeks. Hopefully there's a few there. Good morning from Minnesota. Yeah, I think Wisconsin's supposed to be getting hit, or maybe they already were hit with a second storm this week or last night. So I'm trying not, since my time, I'm on the down home stretch. I'm trying not to look at the weather back home because it's like, oh, I have to go back to that in a couple days. So although, again, it's chilly out here. It's 50, 55 degrees right now. So it's chilly. It's a dry chilly, but it's chilly. So that's the plan. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Yeah, I said I was going to do some videos at the card show, but I mean, it was just, there was so much going on. And Ethan's deal that he was working out took a long time too. I mean, he was wheeling and dealing for a long time. Oh, and one more thing. There was a card of a Cubs prospect from National Treasures that I really liked at the show. It was a jersey. It was like a low serial number to 10, but it was like $50. And I'm like, I can't spend $50 on this. So I came back to the hotel last night. I'm like, I wonder if there's any on eBay. And there was like autos. This was only a jersey relic, number to 10. There was an auto jersey relic, and I think it was out of 25, same player, for like $15 or $20. And I'm like, so I didn't buy it last night, but I wasn't drinking last night, so I was tight on the pocketbook on eBay. Maybe after tailgating today, it's like, oh, hey, I'm going to buy this card. Anyway, now I'm going to wrap it up. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great Sunday. It is Sunday, right? Have a great Sunday. Like, subscribe, and probably next Hobby Evolution will be on Wednesday morning from cold Wisconsin. So tune in Wednesday morning for the next Hobby Evolution, and we'll talk to you then.